Hello and welcome back to another Warhammer 3 video I have for today. Big news and sad news today. Patch notes 6.3 is here, but the update is now coming next week instead of tomorrow. I guess there were unforeseen compatibility issues, but we do have a beta coming out tomorrow as well. It's going to be on Steam. So at least you're going to be able to play it. I will also have a video for Tomb Kings and Lizardmen, so when you guys get your hands on it, I will also be able to get my hands on it. And in this, as well as we go through this video, there is missing items that's not on this that I think they added to the full dev blog, but we already had a 45-minute video about that, so we're not going to cover that. But in this video, we're just going to be reading the patch notes, and then tomorrow, like I said, we're going to get a Tomb Kings and Lizardmen video out for y'all. And maybe we'll do a third, covering the, because there is stuff outside Lizardmen and Tomb Kings that they are updating. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I will try to make this fast, but I also leave a link down below if you'd like to read it yourself. But yeah, appreciate you watching the video. Let's get into it. Greetings, folks. We hope you enjoyed last week's dev blog. We've talked about the changes and additions coming in 6.3 Total Warhammer 3. Oh yeah, we already went over this. So we're actually just going to go to the Lizardmen now. Updates to Lizardmen. So they have a bunch of buildings that changed. So create a specific Quintex landmark for Lizardmen since it was their location originally. It makes sense to replace their existing one. It's not an additional one. So that one, it's like they said, just new, not a new building, but new. Added 2 new control buildings. Move the control buildings so you can construct them in minor settlements. It's always good. Added context effect for a couple of the buildings so you can now gain additional benefits for meeting requirements. Added a low income resource building which missed any effects. Adjusted hero capacity and recruit rank update races, i.e. recruit tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Sora's Scar veteran is still the same tier. I know I kind of butchered that sentence. Added a Pharaoh cold one to Nakai's cold one buildings as he was missing it. I didn't even know that. That's kind of shocking. And a sacrificial pit to Sotek landmark and sacrificial buildings to Sotek now generate sacrificial offerings when playing as the Cult of Sotek. I didn't know how to say that name. Now generates official sacrificial offerings. A lot of sacrifice. Moved the tiers around for bigger dinosaurs to make more sense. And added additional buildings for dread sources so now you can get more of them. And this is what it will look like for, I believe, big main settlements. Like all the infrastructure and defense that they changed. And then this is what a minor settlement looks like. So it's definitely going to be like your capitals are more of have more of the special buildings, unique buildings, I would say. And then your minor settlement is kind of like do what you with what you please, I mean. Their technology tree now. There's too much to go over since everything has changed at least a little bit. The TLDR is more technologies for your building requirements. You'll have to see them for yourselves, I'm afraid. No, I'm not lazy. I'm going to enjoy the new stuff as well. Update stuff. Some highlights included. As well, I'm also going to go over all of it, like I said, tomorrow. But here's the ones that we get a little sneak peek now. Sequence of infiltration. Enemy hero, 6x chance, minus 10%. Attributes stock, all heroes. So I think we went over, actually. We went over this during, some of this during the video of 6.3. Elder Wisdom, Steel Technology, Action Research, rate is increased additional by 10. Research rate plus 15, pretty good. Terminating the Great Plan, again we went over this one already. Temple of Citadel, regions to become immune to climate penalties. Replenishment, 10% campaign movement range after winning a battle, all characters. Leadership plus 5 when fighting against armies that spread corruption. Again, pretty good, we've seen this. This is one they talked about, but we didn't actually get to see. Sequence of the Great Beast Resilience. Remove attribute wounds from rank 7 and above Dreadsaurians. Rank 7, I guess, is kind of hard to get to, but that's really good. Melee defense plus 5 for Bastillodons and Stegodon units. Missile resistance 15% for Bastillodon and Stegodon units. A technology, if you like the beast, definitely seems required. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of new skills now for the Lizardmen. Added an ancillary set effects to all ancillary sets for Lizardmen Legendary Lords. Oh, so that's cool. They all have actual effects now when you use them all together. Changed some Lord Masamundi's effects in his skill tree. Added a skill Lord for Masamundi which improves Temple Guard just a little bit more than he should. Changed Masamundi's starting spells from Apothis to Harmonic Convergence and Apothis and Soul Quench skill to suit. I know a few people I saw on the Reddit were not happy about I think Soul Quench and Apothis. We'll have to see in game how much that is different, but like I said, I have not played Lizardmen in a while, so I wouldn't really know. Add no diplomacy penalties in the Kai's faction for trespassing. Shocked it took 7 years. It's a DLC character who's meant to wander, and everyone attacks him because he's on their property. That's crazy. Change predatory fighter skill a little too low, so now it gives less weapon strength for the condition, but now affects more races. Pretty good. Slan can now return 1 turn sooner with the skill Transcendent Healing. That's kind of cool. Tenuan now increases percentage sacrifice in battle loot and skill, some more so tech landmarks too. Made Lord Masamundi's diplomas effect clearer, making him basically hate everybody even more. Changed Slan generation traits, so now can offer different effects, lowering in power as the Slan gets younger. When playing as Nakai, Kratzgore agents are now constructed the same way other Lizardmen factions. They can unlock all their unique lines without needing to choose between Meat Shield or Death Dealer. So they have a little example right here. So before you can only pick one or two, now you can pick both. I love this because I think locking skills is just not fun. I really like when you can just invest all those 50 points into battle skills, you know. Nakai's skill, Demon Crusher, now gives an ability with its namesake. Ignore the white image, they weren't able to load it in time. Again, these are really good, the self and the enemy abilities. So imbues magical attacks, enemy -4 leadership, and removes demonic attribute. So I believe that just makes them, yeah, it gets rid of some of their physical resistance and fear and terror. Heroes now have minor blessing skills, and more skills below are some examples. Okay, as I say, if they don't let us read it, then it's just this. So here's a new one. Lord Masamundi's new skill, Veliment Zealotry. Yeah, local recruitment duration, -1 for Temple Guard units, minimum 1. That's odd. Ward save, 5% for Temple Guard units in Lord Masamundi's army, so that's good. I wish we had a little more variety, but that's pretty cool. Commanding Shriek, ability restock, and range plus 5% for skink units on army. That's really good. I love that we're throwing restock to a lot more factions because they just didn't have many accesses to it. Or many ways to access it, I mean. Skink Priest, this one is Heavens, the first skill, change name but provides similar effect. Resilient Scales, spell resistance plus 10%, spell resistance own army. I really like the own army stuff because there's not many ways you can boost your army unless it's like outside a special mechanic. Warding Patterns, missile block chance plus 10%, barrier hit points plus 200. Again, we love to see barrier. Missile block chance is really good. Rights, one of my favorite mechanics that I wish would get added to the 3 factions. Nakai Rights is now as below. Oops. I don't know how much, like I said, I have not played them in a minute. I do not know how much they changed, but in the upcoming video, we will have comparisons, you know, as both sides. So today, we're just, like I said, we're burning through this so we can get a whole bunch of stuff done this week for y'all. Yeah, there's the other one, Lizardman Rights, because, yeah, he's DLC as his own ones. They look pretty good, though. From what I remember, like, this is the same. I think Army Ability right there is probably added, maybe. Could be wrong. So in battle, created enhanced Spawn King ability, giving the Kruxigors and Skinks more reasons to play next to each other. Yeah, we saw that already. Given all single entity monsters wall breakers since they're big enough, pretty enough. Apart from Troglodons and Carnosaurs, because they cannot chew a wall. Adjusted range of Masamundi's item Sunburst, standard Hexiodal to 55 to match other unique items. Now we're on to faction and lord effects. Yes, Lord Masamundi has lost his higher upkeep reduction in Temple Guard, bringing the stat line with other balance changes made to his economy. As always, let us know how these changes feel through G2G and Discord, so we can tweak them in the future needed. Not all factions affect lord traits have changed, some are enticing, the great plan intended already. So that right there, let us know the changes through G2G or Discord. Please do. They are, what I would say, as much as they mess up a lot, they actually do listen, and a lot of changes do come from us. So you got a voice, man. Just let it be known. Write down in the comments what you want to see. Write down basically anywhere. Even Twitter, I think, would work because they do that sometimes. Maybe. I could be spreading fake news. Hexiodal, Lord Masamundi, Big Maz. Okay. Oh, that must be his thing. Oh yeah, here's his starting trait. I think we did go over this in the previous video as well, but I'll say it out loud for those who don't want to read. Diplomatic relations -20 for all non-Lizardmen factions. Construction costs -40 for Star Chamber buildings. Right cost -30. Lord effects, targeting range 50 plus for spells. Miscast, miscast base chance 25% for all enemy spellcasters. Change of Wind's magic increasing in strength when changing +20. Upkeep -30 for Temple Guard units. I think that was 50. It did get nerfed, but their economy's better. This I saw earlier. Mix, there's a new follower in town. Let him follow you. I'm really excited to see that. I assume that's a new item just for Lizardmen. And then Lizardmen non-feral dinosaurs now have faction-specific tinting. Here's examples. Yeah, feral dinosaurs will not have it, which I guess makes sense. I am colorblind, so I don't really notice too much difference, but I hope you guys really enjoy this. Kind of get more out of your armies, you know? We have made a reduction for moving in jungle areas of campaign. And yes, please word it like that. If people see it, people will laugh. All this happy in the world. That is pretty funny. This is not a massive reduction, but does make a change through playthroughs. Again, I saw that like, for example, Tomb Kings, like Kalita, they made it to where she can kind of just get out of her starting area because she was kind of shoved in a corner. Commandments have, Commandments have changed to support the spawning sequence resource. Yeah, because we have a new resource for spawning sequences. You can just recruit them right away. Alignment of the crafting increases the amount of spawning sequence earned by rights by 2%, so that stacks, of course. Growth plus 20, well, maybe not stacks, but maybe, you know what I mean. Income from all buildings plus 4%, spawning sequence plus 4 per turn, recruitment cost minus 15, recruit rank plus 1, leadership plus 4, and weapon strength plus 6. That's going to be all for the Lizardmen. We're going to move, there is more, like I said, they didn't show us everything, and as much as they don't want to call this a rework, this is a very big update for what they normally do, you know. And what they did not include, I'm going to say this real quick for those who do not know, they added the new unit, you know, the free units we get is going to be 9, I think it's, yeah, 9 more blessed units for Lizardmen. So that's pretty good, that's pretty exciting. So now we're going to move on to Tomb Kings. Faction effects and lore traits. In order, Cetra, Katep, Kalita, and Archon, some are not changed, but majority were updated to replace Number Nudge. We also added a hidden effect for each faction, so when you get increased capacity, it actually counts as an increase. Well, I guess it's not hidden anymore, but I've just gone and told you on the internet, yeah. Again, they try to be very vocal, not vocal, but very crystal when they try to talk about these things. So you can probably assume, they don't have the names here, but you can probably assume who's who. Well, again, I'm going to read them for those, again, who don't want to read. Again, it's also down below if you want to do it yourself. Construction time -1 for all buildings, minimum 1 turn. Growth plus 20 for all provinces. Population surplus 1 for newly captured settlements. Casualty replenishment rate plus 10%. Leadership aura size 100%. Local recruitment capacity plus 1. This is Cetra, by the way. Winds of Magic power reserve plus 10. All characters experiences plus 25. Mortuary call crafting cost -20. Campaign movement range plus 10. Chance of Winds of Magic increasing strength when changing plus 50. Enables magical attacks in Lord's Army. One of my favorite starting traits. This is Katep, so they have them in order. So this is Katep, this is Kalita, and this is Archon. Diplomatic relations plus 10 with all factions. Dedication to Asphyx, increased armor piercing damage and penetration for all archer units. Kalita starts war with the Laman Sisterhood. Again, I think that's going to be FLC, but that's going to be my theory video. Research rate plus 15. Control plus 4 all provinces. Lore effects. Immune to mountain and swamp attrition, like I said, so she can get out of that corner. Corruption -5 for all for local province, and enables poison attacks Lord's Army. Not as good as magic attack, but pretty good. And now Archon enables recruitment of a certain enhanced vampire counts. Army capacity plus 1. Diplomatic relations with Tomb Kings -60. Diplomatic relations plus 40 for vampire ghosts and vampire counts. Lore effects, Winds of Magic power reserve capacity plus 10, and melee attack plus 5. I have a feeling Archon will get boosted in the future, but again, that's all theory crafting. Now we're on to their buildings. Excuse me. Even since the stream, we've made some updates on the feedback to the buildings, and now below is changes as a whole. Garrisons have changed. I won't list details. This time is me being lazy, but I shall attach a couple screenshots. Again, I like that they say this because now I get to go in and I'm going to take screenshots of everything so we can do a comparison. Scorpions are back in settlements. Let's go. So, yeah, they're right there. Yeah, minor settlements, I mean. Ushati were not left alone either. They've increased capacity if you unlock the relevant patron technology. This is the same for Tomb Guard, Halberd, and some others. So here we have the statue of Pack. I don't know how to say that. Unit capacity plus 2 for Ushapti. Unit capacity, Shapti, Great Bows. When technology patronage of the 6th dynasty is researched, you get another plus 1 for bows. And unlocks the recruitment of Great Bows, so that's pretty good. Royal Barracks. Unit capacity plus 4 for Nekahara Warriors, plus 6 for Skeleton Archers, unit capacity plus 2 for Tomb Guards, and plus 1 for Tomb Guard Halberds, also unlocks recruitment. And when you get the patronage of the 4th dynasty, you also get another capacity for Tomb Guard. So again, I like that it all kind of coincides with each other. It's very like woven together. Here's a unique building, or landmark I mean, House of Everlasting Life. Vigor loss reduction -25 when finding own territory, all characters. Wound recovery time -1 for -1 for all lords. Passive ability regeneration all lords. Really, really good. And now this right here is only for Kalita. They did mention this in the live stream, so attribute perfect vigor for only her. I think it's a little lame that it's only for her, but I get it. They want you to get more reasons to play her, and I think it's right near her. Landmarks, they now have some effects, and stay tuned as there's some spice for a new landmark if you can find Lamia with a unique effect when playing Kalita. Pew Pew, yes, Snipe for Ushapti. I really like Ushapti. I think they're very fun. City of Bronze, unit capacity for Ushapti and Great Bows +2. Income generated 100. Local recruitment time for all units is -1. That's insane. You know, minimum of 1, but that's pretty good. Attribute Snipe for Ushapti Great Bows. Provides a garrison for Ushapti and Great Bows and unlocks your recruitment of them. Pyramid of the King of, I'm going to say Alcatraz. Canopic Jars generated 10. Control +1 for all provinces. Post battle chance for stealing magic item +10. Income from post battle loot +10, of course, faction wide. Winds of magic power reserve capacity +5 all armies. And physical resistance 10% when fighting against vampire counts. Pretty good. Again, like I said, I'm getting hints that vampire counts will become important after the next DLC. Black Tower of Archon. Canopic Jars generated 5. Control +5. Income from all buildings +10. Local province. Army ability Legionary Barrage, and provides garrison with Tomb Guards, Skeleton Archers, Skeleton Warriors, Ushapti, and Necrofinks. That is really, really good. Now this one's for army, very odd, but it's only for local. Great Pyramid of Cetra, unit capacity +2, Tomb Guard with halberds as well. Skeleton Chariot, Archer Chariot, Canopic Jars generated 50, control +1, unit experience per turn 200%, Winds of Magic Power Reserve +5 all armies. This is the big one. Attribute expendable for Skeleton Warriors and Skeleton Spearmen units. And it provides garrison, you get a Chimera Warfinks. What I think is really funny is how blurry this is. That means they must have only had one screenshot and they just did not want to go back for it. Pyramid of the King Far. Unit capacity +2 for Nekahara Warrior, Skeleton Archer Chariot, and Skeleton Chariot. Canopic Jars generated 20. Campaign movement range +10 for all armies in local province. I guess this is the downside. Pharaoh's Curse Battle Healing Cap -50 for Cetra. Minus melee defense +4 when fighting against greenskins. A little odd. Income from all buildings +5 faction wide, really good. And here's the best one, attribute Unbreakable for faction leader. Really good when you're playing Tomb King because you don't want them disappearing because they're your strongest ally on the field. Pretty good though. I like a lot of these. So they have a lot more unique buildings than I would say the Lizardmen, unless these are just the ones they're showing us. And they said there's even more. So Tomb Kings has a lot of new buildings. Their technology tree, just like the Lizardmen, has changed a ton. We have moved it around a bit, added some new technologies, but the key takeaways are less penalties from researching technologies, better effects, agent recruiting technologies, now increasing the recruit rank by 2. Also some unit capacity technologies which should help out your transaction in the late game, both by giving you increased unit capacity directly, but also increasing the capacity of 4 your better units for buildings you have. Some of my top picks. So we have 1, 2, yeah, we've got 3 right here. Some of these I think I did go over, but I don't think like this one right here we did. Like Hearts of Stone, hit points +5 for all characters, attribute immune to flanking all characters, and leadership +10 for construct units. That's really good. That leadership for construct units is big for constructs. Because unlike, a lot of normal units, you can kind of just not care about leadership, but you need these guys to stick around. Patrons of the 6th Dynasty. I think we did cover this one. Unit capacity +1 for Ushapti and Great Bows. Unit capacity +1 for Necrofinks. And unit capacity +1 for Chimera Warfinks. Again, I'm butchering the words. Forgive me, chat. Proclamation of the 1st Dynasty. Campaign movement range +10. Construct cost -5 for all buildings. And you can now receive Ushapti from the Realms of Souls an additional 1 time. So like I said in my previous video, what that means is basically, instead of getting it 1, now you get it 2 times during the battle. So each time. So that's really good. Now we're moving on to skills. Like I mentioned in the stream, everything has been touched at least a little bit. Below will be new skills and some reworked ones. So we have Tomb Princes right here. Okay, they're gonna let us read them because sometimes later down the line they're gonna show us this, but we won't be able to read them. Princes of the Dunes, melee defense +5. My bad. Physical resistance +5 as well. Heir to the Chariot King, or heir. Unit capacity +1 for Skeleton Chariot and Archer Chariot. Attribute Devastating Flanker for Chariot units, Hero's Army. You'd wonder who that's going to be for. I think I accidentally added up upkeep reduction, obviously not required for Tomb Kings, to your game. Inversion of the skill, whoops, this will remind me of a future hotfix. Again, you see they make mistakes. This update's very, very odd, you gotta say. Lich Priest, tipping the scales. Targeting range +5% for all spells. Miscast base chance -15. Focused on restoration, targeting range +20 for restore, ability number uses for restore. That's pretty good for the Necrotex, I think that's how you say it. Dynasty Lords, they now can remove all wound attributes with the skill Resentful Internment and come back quicker. So at Resentful Internment, yeah, removes attribute wounds, wind recovery time -1. They also embody each god, where regular Tomb Kings can only unlock one. Let's go. Again, thank you. I know it's not for all characters, but now you're able to pick all these instead of one at a time. I'm not, again, not a fan of that. New skills with all Tomb Kings. Unwavering Resolve, attribute immune to psychology, attribute immune to contact effects, really good. Again, we don't see them all, but they showed us a good portion of them. Although as the undead you are immune to fear and the Warfinks gives you terror, I wanted to make a chariot and steed users not feel left out. To those players, this is for you. If you choose the Warfinks mount, you'll still get immune to contact effects, so it's not wasted. Again, I like that they're thinking ahead. Now we're on to battle. Oh, I guess there's only one thing. You can now circle the Realm of Souls once by unlocking the technology Proclamation of the First Dynasty. That's kind of interesting. Now we're on to rituals. Again, I really like these. For the large, or rites, I guess they call, yeah. For the large part, we're fine. So we adjusted their costing, cooldown times, and some numbers. Yeah, I don't think these have changed very much. Like, I think this gives you, like, recruit rank or something. Because I think before it only gave you just the unit. Excuse me. Mortuary Call. You can now gain canopic jars from battle kills, not captive options. This is a great way to increase the amount of resource, which really assists you from growing your nation. So that's really good. And they're right there. But how can I spend them? I am glad you asked. With 6.3 comes Nekrahara Decrees, a provisional effect system which lets you gives the Lich Priest some canopic jars for them to bestow gifts upon your faction. Or province, I mean. So I didn't cover these actually in my video, but I am gonna, I'm gonna cover them tomorrow, of course, when I get my hands on them. Schoolery of Perchery or Purity, for duration 5 turns for the cost of 500 jars. Control +2, research rate +10. Corruption will not increase. Other Nekrahara decrees cannot be confirmed, so you can only pick one of these at a time. But that's insane. And for 5 turns, that's pretty good when you're in a kind of a situation you can't get out of. Again, Heat of the Will, costing 500. This one's only duration for 1 turn, but it generates 1,500 gold for the treasury when you activate it. So again, you can trade gold for them. That making Tomb Kings again, I already say bump them on the list. They're gonna become S tier if they ever get DLC. Rightful Reclamation, Canopic Jar costs 750. Duration 5 turns, allows settlements to perform a garrison sally attack within 1,000 range, province-wide. Local recruitment capacity +2 local province. This is going to be great for Cetra, who's just going to be taking up a lot of land, not being able to have a bunch of armies to defend them. You have something for the early game, mid game, and later campaigns, or we'll use all 3 whenever you want, but you'll need to give up the precious Canopic Jars. So yeah, the Mortuary Cult, you got to use a bunch now, or use more than I think previously. We renamed the first tab to Dynasty Legends, making room for confederations. Before I continue, one quite minor thing was that the hero arts didn't have a border on it and images stretched a little bit. That has been resolved, and they look right compared to the regiments are now. I think I did notice that in the past, but it's one of those Warhammer things that it's like, it's fine. It's just the weird UI. Now we're on to costings. We have rebalanced the costing of both resource required, canopic jars, and gold required, and rebalanced some effects in line with the change of 6.2. So yeah, their whole economy is a lot better. Okay, show me the new stuff. Fine. I like how they're just like want the players to like see it themselves. We've made a new uncommon arcane item, the Visitor's Canopy, which grants terror to your Lich Priest and lets you summon a unit of skeleton warriors to defend them. I like that a lot. Kind of wish that was like a skill, but that's pretty good. Then the banners are here. I say they're not going to show us the banners, like I said, but here they are. Oh yes, they do. So Emblem of the Withering. It's so blurry though. That did not help, chat. I tried to zoom in for you guys. Enable Sundering Attack. Assigned unit, of course. They're all banners. I don't know how to say that. I'm just going to say order. Attribute stock. Assigned unit. Again, I don't know how to say these words. I did not learn this in school. Yeah, we're just going to list off the abilities. Attribute Perfect Vigor. Assigned unit. So I can say this one. Icon of the Sacred Eye. Reload reduction time. 10% for assigned unit. Really good. It says Cetra's banner is only available when playing his faction, but others can be crafted numerous times, keeping you can do as many as you want. I mess with that. I like that a lot. Confederations. You may have also heard the grapevine that Tomb Kings confederate. This is true, but some caveats keeping it in line with the established lore. Again, some of this we already went over in my video from the live stream, kind of nitpicking what I saw in there. So with Archon, you can in battle. Yeah, you can, Fiend in battle, you can get Katept, and Katept. He cannot use the Mortuary Cult, though, to recruit them. Khalida and Katept are basically just the same with each other. because she can defeat him in battle. Same thing with him with her, and they can both get each other through the mortuary cult. Cetra, I've seen a few complaints about, but we'll get into that later. When I'll probably get into that tomorrow with the video. So he can get Katep and Khalida through battle, but he can only get Khalida through the mortuary cult. I know a lot of people wanted Katep to be in there, but they said they might think about it. Books of Nagash have changed a lot. We didn't move them all to Nekahara, that seemed wrong. We did, however, move a few of them, my bad, them closer as below. Their effects have also been updated for the Dune Restoration, which restores models similar to the vampire counts. The dead rise again, of course. Only for Tomb Kings is the limited constructs. So yeah, here's like an example. I think I had like 4 of the books up. So right here we have the 5th book of Nagash. Army capacity +1. Unit capacity +5 for Tomb Guard and Halberds and Skeleton Chariots. And Dune Restoration +3% chance for destroyed construct units to be restored after battle. And then the second roll is Dune Restoration +2% hit points for destroyed constructs units during battle. So this stacks, by the way. So let's say you get like the 6th book of Nagash, it'll also be 3 and 2, so this will become 6, this will become 4, of course. This is something I tried to put in the video, but they were very quick with how they clicked on books. But now we get to see where they all moved. So this is live, so you can check yourself right now, 6.2. This is where Cetra's is, and it's very, like, why do we have 2 in Ulthuan? Why are we even going there? Lustria kind of makes sense. So you kind of see that on the right side, they kind of bunched them up a lot more. And then same thing with Katep, like his actually did not change that much. I'm looking at them. I think they barely changed. I think they nudged them a little to the left and that was it. Khalida's definitely changed a lot. I'm glad they're just making them, like, look at hers. I think hers was really bad because she starts here. She has 3 up north, 5 up north, but you know, this way, east or west. I don't know my directions, guys. I'm a YouTuber. I'm not bright. But yeah, they've changed it a whole bunch. Like Archons. Oh yeah, Volkamir's down here and Manfred. Yeah, they're all just more bunched up together. Again, I'm glad they're taking them out of Ulthuan, because that makes no sense for the Tomb Kings. I believe Volkamar, yeah, his changed a little bit actually. So again, they're taking them out of Ulthuan, putting them in Nekahara. Manfred's did not change, because right here, yes, Manfred did not change, you saw this right, but you have thoughts in your locations though, let us know. We always make changes based on your feedback, smiley face. Again, man, just let them know your opinion. Even if it's an unpopular one, you're still you're still part of the player base. If you want something that maybe nobody else wants, just say something. Maybe they'll add it. Maybe they'll make it like an option. Here we go. I've loved doing small quality of life updates to Lizardman and Tomb King races, and I hope there's something here for everyone that can enjoy them while you sink your teeth into the patch release. So again, we're getting the beta tomorrow, and then next week we get the full update. I don't think this will delay the videos that should be coming out, and if it does, that will hurt my soul, but I hope not. So still assume we're going to be getting the dev video like Friday or Saturday, I would believe, for the 3rd faction, my beloved Asir. So yeah, here's the miscellaneous. Green skill update, so we have the Night Goblin War Boss, Goblin Big Boss, Black Orc Big Boss, and Giant River Troll Hag. Again, like I said earlier in the video, they're not going to show us what they all do. They did show us what the Goblin Big Boss did during the rally point. It is in my last video if you want to check that out. But the rest of these we'll have to find out tomorrow or next week if it's not part of the one tomorrow. And we have the unusual locations. They've added 20. So I did read this off in my 45-minute long video, The Dead Diary. But again, I'm going to read it off just for those who just want to listen in. Maybe they're just listening to this in the background. Carnival of Chaos. We have Warpstone Meteor Impact. Dwarf Construction Company, Abandoned Forge of Hashut. I saw this, by the way. It's really, really good. Ogre Mercenary Camp, Unearthed Tomb, Primordial Spawning Pools, A Covenant of the Crimson Plague, Sartosan Vault, Cathay Merchants, Peg Street Pawnbroker, Purple Hand Cult. I say we know what this does. Underwater Sea Entrance, Faulty Doomsphere, A Dark Gift, Unstable Chaos Portal, a Cult of the Crimson Skull, again, we know what this does, the Cult of Pleasure, and the Cabal, yeah, some of these we've already seen, and the Elven Enclave. I want to see what that one is. I am excited for that. Updated these existing unusual location restrictions where lore appropriate to make them more accessible to races. Again, a lot of Chaos factions just did not have access to the previous one, so hopefully they get a little bit more now. Here's an update I don't think anyone expected, like, this was not on my bingo card. Camera Blood Spatter. Added a camera blood spatter option in the graphic settings when this is switched on, or when the zoom in is close enough to the action blood will splatter onto the camera, fading after a few seconds. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think there's probably a lot of Pharaoh players who might really like it. and audio. Added a new voiceover for Wulfric, Throg, and Albrecht de Borlax, as well as a new voice line for Britannia Lord. We've actually seen Throg and Albrecht and the Britannia Lord, but for some reason they didn't show us the Wulfric one, so again tomorrow I'm excited to make that happen, show you all what it does. Bug fixes. So I think the rest of this is, yeah. So we're out of the Tomb King's Talisman. These are just general fixes. So we're gonna kind of might skim all this just to get this quickly. So general gameplay, fix an issue when embedding new agent into an army effect that already has this effect, but has a different value than the higher value used, which means you have a high elf army with the noble giving 15% replenishment to an army, and you get a handmaid to join the army offering 9. Her lower number will no longer replace the better effect, the highest value will always be preferred. So that, yeah, just fixing how hero skills work in your army. Fixed an issue where loading back into a save or lower the available wins capacity to default, ignoring any items or skills you have. During the prologue campaign, when Diplomacy Tour is activated, the player can no longer close the scripted tour before the first tooltip in order to prevent a hard lock. Fixed a hard lock at a skill point of the character ranked up scripted guide where it wasn't even listening for the click at the correct timing. So just in fixing. Fixed a bug where a cloud save error appeared when trying to manual while offline, having no internet connection, and result could not create a save. Fixed the hero actions that affected armies, such as Lord Croak's replenishment being replaced by any other actions performed. This they already kind of brought up before they were fixing. Fixed an issue where affecting certain mods with extremely long strings in Lua were not being properly split. Serialization. They're fixing. My bad, guys. They're fixing the character string limit has been removed. Fixed an issue so that Ranger's pouch replenishment effect now correctly only applies to character with equipped. Fixed an issue where Fort Burge's interception with enables Realms of Chaos campaigns despite being a regular settlement. Fixed an issue with the result on quest battles triggering it and providing their words twice. Fixed mission icons overlapping with army banners when the target is an army. Yeah, we're really close to being done though, guys. So we just have the faction specific now. Beastmen. In the Beastmen Bloodgrounds, the faction flag is now correctly replaced with the Devastated flag only upon the completion of the ritual. Settlement tooltips for Beastmen while in Bloodgords have been corrected as well. The settlement foul premonitions have now correct scaling of the intercept chance. Fix an issue where raised settlement icon appeared to the labels all above the settlement ground. I butchered all that, guys, my bad. Demons of Chaos, a faction that desperately needs help. The scripted tour for Demonic Glory now correctly starts when all the UI panels are closed. Dark Elves, I know you're going to get something eventually. Fix a non-working Black Arc replenishment bonus and Dread expansion stance. The Beloved Empire. Fix an issue where the summon elector counts now deduct the correct amount of prestige. Elizabeth's skill advisor null affects all the variants of the Empire range units. Types elector count Amethyst. University of Magic panel shall no longer be triggered from the shortcut for players end their turn. We have Cathay now. Matters of the State, EI, Meteor Gambit will not have the same cooldown of 5 turns. Money is good, right? UN Bow's Matter of the State financial treaties, which gives money now, shows the positive effect. Zhao Ming's Ogre Kingdom friendship stretches further than just recruiting a couple mercenary units. They are valued allies because of this, and the faction now applies to all ogres in any FIV's factions. That's really good, I like that. And armies, I mean. Not just mercenaries, his skilled desert armor, desert weapons, and iron strength apply to melee Ogre Kingdom allied recruit units as well. Lord of Shenyang now extends the Ogre mercenaries to all kingdom units including. Oh, I already read that, my bad. The dilemma no place like home triggers when necessary settlements are captured by any lower of the Jade Court faction. Again, I really like the Ogre Kingdom, so I'm hyped for that. High Elves. Oh, my bad. I thought I already read High Elves. Fix the crash when trying to imprison an Ogre Camp Tyrant, a Caravan Master of Convoy, or Convoy Lords who is playing Althorian. Now we have Khorne. Fix an issue so that the Herald of Khorne, when playing as the Demons of Chaos, no longer has the Skull effect of Harvest Skulls. The Technology Blood Whirlwind now has the effect Regiment Renowned, Bloodwalker Berserkers, Wrathmongers. Valkian now gets access to Khornite versions of the Burning Books of Khorne instead of the standard version. Shocked they didn't even think about that. Kislev, Invocation of Tor now correctly grants the army ability Wrath of the Bear. It just works now. Fix an issue where reinforcement arrow sometimes didn't display when attacking the enemy army with Ottoman Garrison. Bretonia can now increase their replenishment rate through technologies and Lord skill trees. Reponse faction can now confederate other Bretonia factions without restriction. Again, didn't even know that. Zinch boons will now correctly apply recruitment duration reduction. When the Formless Horror scripted tour selects the changeling, not the faction leader, Players can no longer trigger the changing of the ways logic when it's not their turn. Now we have the Tomb Kings. They got a bunch of updates this one. Fixed an issue where some technologies such as dynasties would get stuck one turn before completion and changed now cost again where it got reset. Katep's reduction and crafting discount now correctly applies to more than just the first army capacity increase. Also changed how army increases work, so the cost of unlocking more in the mortuary cult doesn't scale, it adds. Fixed new issue so where the great incarnation of Kassar will now be unlocked by the user if the player obtains third settlement by Pitra, Necro, colonization, or via diplomacy. Dude, the Tomb King words, I butcher them every time. Orcs, again, they're called greenskin in games, but in patch notes they're called orcs. It's weird. Fix an issue so that Azog's advanced spells can now be correctly unlocked. Squigs and Spiderland hatchings will incorrectly being classed as melee infantry when implied. This is no longer the case. Greenskin ports now provide the correct income when damaged. The AI can now recruit only one unit of the Workscored Regiment renown as intended. I wish we could recruit more than one. Added a new scripted tour to prevent the tour wrongly starting the character's detail screen. Calling a Wa. No longer reduce your army's maximum movement points to 100. Now we're on to Lizardmen. It seems they got a bunch. New Sanctum. Available event message now correctly transitioned to the apartment state. Star Metallurgist, a temple of architect follows can now be gained. Nakai can now recruit cold ones. Didn't even know he couldn't before. Fixing the tradement agreement button improperly shows upon canceling the proposal of confederation to another faction. Tic-Tac-Toe no longer has buildings, which provides no effects or recruitment. Again, that's kind of shocking, he just didn't have those. Rite of Zunki now gives immunity to Deep Sea's attrition while active. The Blessing of the Old One's technology now gives an effect which is useful in the Nakai's faction. Slaanesh, as we know, they get their DLCs next, so it's very small changes. Disciplined armies no longer get a battle captive upon replenishment, or option, I mean. Everybody's favorite Vampire Coast. Fix an issue where Count Noclis, where event messages related to C points of interest did not animate when transitioning to a parchment state. So just kind of fixing UI. Vampire counts. Varix Reavers now have their upkeep reduced by the Red Duke's Doomrider skill. Mortar Girls are now correctly affected by the Obsidian resource chain. The skill Nekahara's Noah Blow will now correctly apply to cost reduction to the base spell. The technology Blood Hunts now correctly show its units as affected. On the Nurgle, the Demon Speed Forsaken Regiment Renown is affected by Nurgle technology, Strain Resistant, and Humanity Virus. Fixed an issue where Urza Bolt's Infernal Slug skill did not reduce range due to switching a projectile type with different base range. Fix an exploit buildings and canceling infestation cost buildings to unlock plagues early. Ogre Kingdoms during the scripted tour for contracts, the hotkeys are disabled to prevent script errors. Bruises do not murder, they only bruise. Their big name, Longstrider, now reflects they do not assassinate and wound instead. Golgfag Maneater no longer receives contracts from Nakai as he does not own settlements himself. During the scripted tour, cannot use the tour X button to prevent hardlock. Target factions can now confederate, but other factions cannot confederate targeted faction. Chaos Dwarves in Advisor window, the back UI button is set to be inactive during the script of the Hellforge. Hobgoblin Bolt Throwers now count towards Gorebag's Backstabbers Unlock mission. Warriors of Chaos. Fix an issue where Possessed Follower Warrior of Chaos cannot drop during require unusual technology. And lastly, Wood Elves. Fix an issue where the Wild Spirits Tooltip plays as Raise the Dead when they're grayed out. So, yes. Oh wow, there's a lot more. And here I thought it was just gonna be the data core no more for the modders. There is a lot of fixes in this. So I think we just went over this one. Yes, we did. The UI, so the technology demonic pack now has the correct icon. Beastmen free zero cost units no longer have wrong cost label. Zinch fixed an issue where Formless Horror scripted tour would overlap, making player settings inaccessible. Tomb Kings and Beastmen fixing units without cost upkeep showing cost. Tooltips during recruitment. Kislev, the trait Strongholder now affects while in campaign. Empire, during the scripted tour invention for Gunnery School, hotkeys are disabled to prevent hardlocks. Fix Elsbeth's schematic counts not turning invisible when they should. Prologue campaign, during the scripted tour, all keyboard shortcuts are so a lot of hardlock stuff they're fixing. Objective guide buttons now available to start of the scripted tour for summit buildings development. During the Treasury scripted tour, all the shortcuts are disabled. Fix an issue where the Battle of Beacon, but before the post-tutorial, escape menu is not active to prevent script errors. Audio, conversation VO for Drazine when affected near Kislev Legendary Lords when you were able to hear their voices no matter what. When the player was situated, VOs now play positionally, keep with the other conversation VO. So you won't hear voices in your head across the map. Fix an issue where the character Drika would have a voiceover by Rickarth after a certain recruitment action. That's really funny. I wish I would have gotten that bug. So battle, I don't think there's too much to cover, yeah. So this is going to be the last part, because we're not going to cover the modding, and this video is probably already way too long. So, fix an issue where the quest battles had an initial cutscene got soft lock with a black screen while pressing escape during the initial cutscene. Fix flickering of blood decals on the ground when there are too many. Fix several items in custom battle having additional cost due to spell mastery modifying abilities. Fix flickering or blood decals on the ground of the battle when there are too many. Faction specific, for beastmen, enemy units will coordinate assaults of players' units to prevent AI when retreating to move through player front lines of hard darkness. Bretonia, fix an issue where Pegasus Knights, Royal Pegasus Knights now have the correct unit category icon. Fix an issue so that Bretonia Knights can now, the lands are colorful again. Oh, that's cool. Empire, Battle of the Bloodpine Wood quest, so the second objective is added, destroying the first army. The battle completes after defeating the initial enemy, and the enemy reinforcement shows up. The Funnel of Flame, 55 meters range now, replacing the Hailfire, so true upgrade to the 100 words. Upgrade to the 100 General. I know I'm trying to read through this fast, so you guys don't have to slog through an hour-long video. The High Elves, the Grey Shadow Warriors, are now counted units with 360 fire and arc unit cap. Norska, the Cold Voider shares the Chaos Frost Dragon alongside the base unit. Monster Hunt, the Hellbeast of Seepgore objectives are now complete with the Elite Storm Vermin and the Hellbeast of Seepgore. Kislev, the technology, pirate weapons no longer wrongly affects the Regiment Renowned Armored Cossors, the Watchmen of the Night. Tomb Kings can now lead variants that were not holding their weapons. This has been resolved. Tomb Kings carry an extra halberd on the back even though they already have on their hands. The extra halberd has been removed. Zinj fixed an issue with Cathay scheme battle so it completes when the user captured objectives or prior to reinforcement. Warriors of Chaos, players would no longer be under attack by enemy Cygors during the cinematic for the quest battle. Pestilence and Potions. Orcs fix an issue that Mantle of Gorok, now upgraded, is activated instantly. Units, not all halberds are built equally, but Ermic, when unmounted, now follows the general rule of halberd units on foot by having charge reflection and charge defense versus large. Fix the stretch texture on the Hobgoblin Bolt Thrower. Now we got animations. What else? Elf, Spear, and Shield animations no longer rotate the shield. Korn, fix some voiceover for Wrathmonger units in battle. Now we have the maps. Fill the pothole in the, I don't know what to say that, Veil battle map. Disallowed the players from plunging their camera underwater in several Kislev maps. Resolve pathing issues within the Great Forest. Resolve the mysterious Black Hole Thin Corn Waste map, kind of goofy. Trim some overgrown foliage of the Temple of Skulls map. Convince an errant pyramid to reappear in the Lustria Hills. Disappeared of errant flying planks on the Howling Rocks map. Resolved water clipping issues outside the outskirts of Moorland Route. I know I'm butchering it again. Landed some levitating stones in Bakvar. Again, such crazy names in this game. Battle UI, we've added a small faction flag of capture points to note who currently owns it. This intent is here to make very clear about battle ownership to the point to avoid situations where players believe they have captured the point prematurely. So that's going to be it, because right here is just for modders, and I would say 99% of you do not mod, and there is no goodbye message either. So really fun update. A little sad it's getting delayed next week, but then again, we have a beta tomorrow, so we technically still get it at the same time. A lot to cover, but I said tomorrow we're probably gonna have like 3 videos coming out. One for the Tomb Kings, one for the Lizard Men, and one for, I would do like one for all the miscellaneous, like the green skins, and some of all the big bug fixes they're changing. So yeah, thank you again so much for watching the video. Stay tuned to the channel for all the Warhammer news. We have a lot coming out this week. Thank you so much for the likes and subscribes. I will see you in the future.